I love 5 o'clock, Prater. I love our 5 o'clock audience. All you new folks today to Idaho Sports Talk. You've been plugging away at your job. You're in your rig. You're headed home on a Wednesday, and you have the smooth sounding voices of John Mallory and Mike Prater to tell you everything you need to know about your favorite college football team's quarterback competition. Welcome in our Dollar Loan Center video audience. Visit don'tbebroke.com and they'll set you up. Prater, we have the quarterback competition. We have overall observations from day one. I mean, we're looking forward to this. This access is unheard of. We'll be at just about every practice, and we're going to come right here on IST and let the listeners know what we saw and hopefully ask our listeners texting and calling us what they want to know. We were there to see it. We'll let you know. You guys call or text. Prater, day one fall camp. Prater, my buddy, we made it.
We did make it, and we made it through fall camp this morning. No problems. Great weather, great conditions, beautiful grass, everybody with lots of energy, lots of juice, a brand new, beautiful logo on the practice field, which we've never seen before, the big Bronco head. Actually, they put numbers on the practice field.
Why'd they do that?
Because they wanted to stop being a junior high football team. Are you kidding me? No, it's just, I think it's Spencer Danielson paying attention to detail. And sometimes those details matter. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes if you take 15 tiny details, they add up into something that's important. And I'm a detail guy. I've often been criticized for criticizing JP for missing a comma here or back in the editor days of just too much detail. I love detail. Okay. And if Spencer Danielson says, damn it, I want a logo and yard lines on my football field where we practice, we're Boise State. We're freaking Boise State. We're competing for a CFP championship invite. Put some numbers, put a logo on the practice field, make it look a little bit big time. And today it was big time out there, and not a lot of injured players. We're not allowed to talk about black jerseys and yellow jerseys. Hell, I don't think I even saw one. It was really nice day, and the weather was great, and we're off and running ball game. We've even got things to talk about, the good and the bad of the quarterbacks and the good and the bad of the defense.
208-424-9300. Call our Double Tap Pub hotline between now and like 5:35 Mountain Time. We'll keep that sucker open. Turn that on. We'll answer all your questions regarding the quarterbacks in day one of Boise State fall camp. 208-424-9300. All right, Prater, day one of this quarterback competition. You know, I was tired of hearing people say it's Mad Dog's job to lose. This is Mad Dog's job to win. I mean, he got the start today, essentially. He'll have first crack at winning this job, going with the ones and whatnot. This job was not won today. This job was not lost today. To be honest, I wasn't in love with day one of the quarterback competition. I thought they'd come out with a little more precision, maybe a little more energy. I don't know. I was left wanting a little more. To me, the receivers put on a better show today than the quarterbacks.
The receivers had a couple of nice catches, and you're basing all that on just a 2-hour practice and just a couple of nice plays, a couple of nice catches. Marshall had a beautiful catch, and the wide receiver room is going to be really fun to watch. And your excitement for the wide receiver room is legit, and it's real, and we'll certainly see that develop. I would disagree on and again, we're just talking words and detail here, but I don't think it's Maddux's job to win or lose. And I would say the same exact thing about Malachi Nelson. I think it's not his job to win or his job to lose. I think right now you're looking at a 55-45 situation just because Maddux is, more entrained in the program and certainly had a head start with the playbook going into spring camp. And Maddux is going to continue to look good. He's going to continue to look bad. He's going to throw some interceptions. Malachi today did a little bit of both. I thought they both had flashes that were good, flashes that were bad. I looked at a lot. I'm not so much worried about, 4 interceptions, and we're going to dive into that a little bit, is frightening for me. That I don't want to see that from anybody. But and the energy, I thought the energy was fine. They were just going through drills, and Dirk Cutter isn't the energy coach. So when he's got his guys over in the corner, it's more business than energy. You go over to the linebacker room where Spencer Danielson's running around and Stacy Collins are running around. Holy cow. Now that's energy. And I did spend probably 3/4 of my time on the defensive side of the field today, because last year I realized that I didn't pay attention to the defense for the first week, because we all get sucked into offense. We want to see the ball. And but the quarterback battle is is ongoing. They're both going to be just fine, and I can't wait for another decision in about 2 or 3 weeks when we find out who's going to be the starting quarterback.
Let's go to the interceptions. Let's go to the turnovers. I think people popping in their car and they just heard that and they said, wait, what? 4 interceptions? Wait, who? Wait, fill us in on this stuff. And, a couple of them were tipped. A couple of them were just poor decisions, and it totally happens. It's day one. But, I mean, if you're a fan of this defense and saying, why the hell didn't we get any turnovers last year? I mean, today was not that day. Prater, Mad Dog, 2 pick sixes in the span of a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and Maddux had 3 of the 4 interceptions, so that's not a good look. 2 of them were tipped, or there was a collision between a defender and a wide receiver, and the ball just popped up in the air, one of those kinds of deals. McCoy, Benefield, Irby, and Notriani had the picks today.
Yep.
Notriani, I believe, was a pick 6 against Malachi Nelson. I wasn't there for that drill, but talking to the rest of the media scrum, I believe it was Notriani with a pick 6 on Malachi Nelson.
Yep.
and a poor throw there. But again, yeah, that's, you expected precision and execution on day one. I didn't. And it's going to be a lot like spring camp when Malachi showed up confused and lost for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden it clicked, and then it was magic. And I thought he was frustrated. I like the demeanor. And if you're really – eventually Malachi Nelson's going to be the starting quarterback. There's no debate there. Whether that's August 31st or halfway through the season or Oregon or whatever – pick the date. That's what we should be doing here is what's the over-under on the date that he's going to be named the starting quarterback. He's going to be named the starting quarterback at one point. But today I thought he was a little bit frustrated at times. He threw his hands up in the air. Madsen has a calm, cool demeanor that I promise you, that is endearing to Dirk Cutter. He likes that calm demeanor. He doesn't like to see that kind of emotion, the negative emotion out there on the football field. And I don't want to overplay just a couple of quick plays in a 2-hour practice because I thought Malachi Nelson looked pretty good. I thought they both looked pretty good minus the hiccups. But the demeanor, I watched a lot of the demeanor today, and the demeanor from Madsen certainly fits what Dirk Cutter is looking for.
A couple of notes for me. The 2 pick sixes for Mad Dog. One of them, it was on a comeback route, and he should just not have thrown that ball. The dude was covered. He just, whatever the heck case is, he just threw that ball. I mean, those are throws that he knows and everybody knows, but you just can't make those throws in an actual game. I mean, this is not the California Penal League, Vaughn. This is FBS football. You just won't see that throw, hopefully, ever made in a game from Madsen. The tip ones, I haven't evaluated those as much. One of them on a tipped pass, I said the same thing. Why the hell are you even throwing that? Of course it was tipped. That guy was covered. The DB had better position than the receiver. You can't get away with that ball, and we saw a couple of that. Prater Malachi, I thought he had a couple of gem throws, but still waiting to see a little more. He was quiet for me, but looking forward to day 2.
Yeah, we'll see the improvement and how they act tomorrow, and I'm definitely looking forward to that.
208-424-9300. It's the Double Tap Pub hotline, and we said, hey, from now till what, 5:30-ish, we'll take your calls. We'll answer your questions. Randy, you're first up. Appreciate you, Randy. You had a question on the quarterback competition. What is it?
I did, guys, and thank you for sharing your observations about it. It's huge. Who threw a deep ball and who adapted to the rush and took off and ran instead of getting sacked? That would be my questions.
I didn't see a lot of deep balls. Maybe Johnny can do that. I did watch, they did some red zone stuff, and Madsen dominated the red zone stuff. He had a couple of nice runs right up the middle. Back to Dirk Cutter's point of yesterday, if Madsen needs 6 or 7 or 8 tough yards or a first down, he's the kind of guy that's going to get you that. He's not going to bust off a Taylor Green 80-yarder for sure. I thought Maddux, his running ability in the red zone drills today was pretty darn spectacular. I didn't notice any deep balls at all today, ballgame.
Yeah, there was a deep ball. First off, like, Randy, they're running for quarterbacks in practice. They blow the whistle if anybody gets, like, Mike Prater would be like Lawrence Taylor in one of these practices because he'd get 5 yards away from the quarterback and they'd blow the whistle for a sack. So It's tough to gauge the athleticism moving out of the pocket. Malachi had a deep ball that was perfect, right on the money, to Chris Marshall, but Chris Marshall didn't come down with it. He went up for it, and when he went to the ground, that ball popped out, but it was like, ooh, if Marshall can just hold on to that, that is a major play. And I promise you, Matt Miller will be all over Chris Marshall and say two things to him. Stay up. It was one of those plays that as a receiver, I talked with my boy Sanford about this all the time. The greatest receivers never go down. You're never seeing them with the ball on the ground. Jerry Rice, I never saw him have a diving catch. Neither did Randy Moss. They stay up, they catch the ball, and they take it to the damn house. And they will pick on him on that film, and he's going to need to, like, Chris, why were you on the ground? Receivers too often want to, like, catch it and go to the ground to secure it. Dude, you can keep running on that. Receiver coach is there. But, Randy, appreciate the call. We're going to have a bunch of stuff like that. But, yeah, that was the best deep play I saw today. Malachi to Marshall, but Marshall couldn't hang on to the ball. And I didn't even think he had to go down. He should have just kept running with it, but the hell do I know?
Nice. Very nice.
208-424-9300. Randy, hopefully your question was answered. Who's next? 208-424-9300. We're talking quarterbacks. And what was your takeaway? I mentioned, Prater, my takeaway on the pick sixes, and nothing fires up the defensive side of the sideline of a practice like a pick six, especially the ones I saw. I think one was a Marion McCoy.
The other one was Marco.
The other one was Marco.
And again, no live tackling. So
on the pick six,
take it for a grain of salt.
But
guys.
At least the McCoy one was on the sideline. Like he would have taken that to the house during a game. Yeah, the Marco one. Yeah, right. But I mean, big deal. Kind of deal or no stinking deal whatsoever.
No
that
stinking
the quarterbacks
deal.
Kept throwing picks today.
No
man.
Stinking deal whatsoever.
Really? I kind of want to say that's way too many interceptions.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But it's the first of a month where it's still July. It's still July, dude. It's the first day, and they were out there for less than 2 hours. So I expect growth tomorrow. If this problem continues, we're going to have a hell of a lot of shows where we're going to be talking about this. But no, I'm not going to be. Now, with that said, to your point, Spencer Danielson said, we're going to grade every play.
Yes.
Of every player, of every practice.
Every stat is kept.
Every stat, every play, it's all recorded, and they go over it. They had a weight room session this afternoon and film session this afternoon, and they go over that, and they're graded on every play of camp. They have two big towers, one on the 50, one on the west side, or one on the west end zone, two big towers with cameras. They watch all that stuff, guys, and they're grading every single play. Spencer Danielson said, I'm not going to have to make a decision at all. This is the best part. We're going to chart every single play, and then it's all going to be there. Black and white was his exact phrase, black and white, and they're going to be the ones who decide this. Now, if we're talking a week before Georgia Southern, and he said he's going to name a starter prior to game week of the Georgia Southern game.
Yep.
So that tells me like a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday before or Monday morning of whatever, how he's going to handle that. If these continues, or if it's a close battle, and Maddux Madsen's got 3 red marks on himself, and Malachi Nelson's got 1, maybe it could come down to that. I have a feeling by the time camp rolls around 3 weeks from now, we're not going to remember too much about today.
Now, what are your questions? Again, we'll answer anything we can regarding day one of practice. We were both there. 208-424-9300. A lot easier to get your question answered if you call rather than text. We got a bunch of stuff we want to get to. Cooper Jones. Who? Yeah, his nephew is one of the more popular players in Boise State football history, and this dude is a walking, talking Boise State historian. Cooper Jones, the newest member of your team. We'll tell you a little bit about the interview we had on him and remind you guys, get to our app, get to our website. All this stuff is always right there. Phone lines are open. Olympics, Boise State fall camp, NFL, where you want to take this. 208-424-9300. Hi, Prater in the ball game.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.